Welcome to Wealth of Useless Knowledge, where we dive into some fun and entertaining topics. You're sure to learn something new here, and maybe even have a laugh or two. Now let's get into today's video. If you love learning new things just for the sake of learning, then you're in the right place. I mean, the channel isn't called A Wealth of Useless Knowledge for nothing. Whether you love playing trivia games, are in school, or are one day hoping to land yourself on a game show like Jeopardy, it can never hurt to know some of these things, as learning just for the fun of it is something we should never lose, no matter how old we are. In this video, we'll be diving into 10 utterly useless but undeniably entertaining facts. So buckle up, because it's time to expand your wealth of useless knowledge. We all love a good pair of jeans, but have you ever wondered what that tiny pocket too small to fit a thing in is for? Like, why is it even there? Well, for those who love pocket watches, that little pocket is for you, as it was designed to store those popular old school trinkets. We walk around every day, but have you ever stopped to think about how many bones make up your feet to support that movement? Well, this fun fact may surprise you. There's a total of 206 bones in your body, and approximately 1/4 of those bones are in your feet, as each foot contains 26 bones for a total of 52 just for your feet alone. You may make a Mickey D's run for a Big Mac or some fries, but did you know that McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli?
What?
That's right, y'all. The restaurant reportedly was testing the new flavor as a way to get kids to eat their vegetables and add another healthy option to the chain's menu. But the focus group of kids who tried it were confused by the flavor, so the idea was scratched, never getting past the testing stage to even launch and be sold in any locations. The restaurant still wanted to find a way to make things on their menu healthier though, so they did end up settling with reducing their fry portions and adding a low-fat yogurt to the menu instead. State facts are always fun, and if you've seen my previous useless facts videos, you may have learned quite a few of them. Well, here's another. The letter Q doesn't appear in any of the United States state names. For those trying to lose weight, one thing that may help is to just think about it. No, you can't just think yourself skinny, but thinking does burn calories, as many studies show that your brain burns on average between 300 and 500 calories a day, just to think. Who would have thought it? Most people are right-handed, as approximately only 10% of people in the world are left-handed. Are you left or right-handed? Let me know down in the comments. Kit Kat once launched sushi-inspired Kit Kats in Japan. Although they resemble sushi, they didn't actually taste like what they looked like. The one designed to look like tuna sushi was actually raspberry flavored, the seaweed wrapped sushi is pumpkin pudding flavored, while the sea urchin sushi is a melon flavor with mascarpone cheese. The ever so iconic Hollywood sign has long been a tourist attraction and has even been referenced by a wide array of musicians and songs in decades past. But did you know the Hollywood sign was once the Hollywoodland sign? The original sign was made of wood, but after some time began to deteriorate. When it was renovated in 1978, the material was changed from wood to corrugated steel, and the land part of the sign was ultimately dropped and just changed to Hollywood. Did you know that fingernails grow faster than toenails? This is widely thought to be due to the fact that hands are closer to the heart than the feet are, which allows for more blood flow to the hands, thus increasing the rate at which fingernails grow in comparison to toenails. Who knew? Since the beginning of time, people have had an aversion or fear of differing opinions. But did you know in modern times there's actually a word for that?
What the heck?
That's right, you guys. The fear of other people's opinions is called allodoxophobia. Many of us have either used or heard the phrase, "I'll be back in a jiffy." But did you know that a jiffy is actually a measurement of time that equals to about 1/1,000,000,000th of a second? If you're looking to expand your vocabulary, then you're in luck, as there are approximately 4,000 words being added to the dictionary each and every year. Many people enjoy a good night out at the movies. Some like to watch the trailers while others loathe them. But did you know that movie trailers were originally shown at the end of movies? Hence the name trailer. They were ultimately moved to the beginning though, due to the fact that most of the audience quickly left after the feature film ended. We use keyboards most every day, but long before we had them, we used typewriters. There is a remnant on our modern keyboard though, as the word typewriter is the longest word you can type using only the letters on a single row of the keyboard. The Super Soaker is a must-have toy for the summer that people have enjoyed for years. But did you know this iconic toy was created by a nuclear scientist who used to work for NASA? That's right, folks. The Super Soaker was invented by the scientist Lonnie Johnson. Pound cake is one of the most simple yet delicious desserts out there. But have you ever wondered why it's called pound cake? The dessert got its name due to the fact that it originally always included a pound of each of its ingredients, which were flour, eggs, butter, and sugar. Who knew? Did you know the word go is the shortest complete sentence in the English language? Speaking of the word go, if you're enjoying the video so far and have learned something new, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps the channel out a lot.
I appreciate you.
Looking at the US map, you can see a chef holding a plate of chicken, and ironically, the state of Kentucky looks like a chicken leg. Don't believe me? Check this out.
What's this?
This little trick helps you to remember where certain states are located on the map, and once you see it, you just can't unsee it. Captain Crunch is a delicious cereal, and we always see the commercials featuring the iconic Captain. But did you know his full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch?
What the heck?
Hummingbirds are such beautiful birds, and as you may or may not know, the bird is the tiniest one out there. But not only is it the smallest, but it's also the only bird that can fly backwards. On the topic of birds, did you know that an ostrich's eyeball is bigger than its brain? But don't let that fool you though, they are still very intelligent creatures. Not to mention that they do have enough kicking power in their legs to kick up to 2,000 pounds per square inch, which is enough to take down a lion in a single kick. So it's best to not insult their intelligence. The great state of Montana is known for its vast mountains, and the name is derived from the Spanish word for mountains, montañas. Out of all 50 US states, Maine is the only state whose name has just one syllable. The human body is known for its resilience and its unique ability to heal itself. But did you know that your teeth are the only part of your body that can't heal itself? I guess that's what our parents meant when they said, you only get one set of teeth, so you better take care of them.
Oh, I know that's right.
Bunnies are some of the cutest animals out there. They're soft and fluffy, which is why it makes sense that a group of bunnies would be known as a fluffle. There are many animals in the animal kingdom that run in large groups. We've all heard of packs, but did you know that a group of cheetahs is called a coalition? Another group of cats that you may see in the wild is lions. A group of lions is known as a pride. Fun fact, in astrology, Leos are known to be the most prideful sign in the zodiac. Coincidence? When we think of Parliament, most would think of the legislative body of government. But in the animal world, a group of owls is known as a parliament. Bloating has been something people all over have tried to quell, with everything from flat tummy teas and detoxes, some of which work and some of which don't. But I guess there's no hope for the hippos out there, as a group of hippos is known as a bloat. No, seriously. When you think of the word flamboyant, what comes to mind? To be flamboyant means to be attention-grabbing and bold, often in a colorful way. Think sequins, flair, the drama, darling. But in the animal world, a collective of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Sounds like the ideal descriptor for them, if you ask me. Keeping in line with being bold and attention-grabbing, a group of peacocks is called an ostentation. Fun fact, it sounds a lot like the word ostentatious, which is a synonym for flamboyant, and peacocks definitely fit that description, especially when their train of tail feathers is flared out. I guess you could say they have that extra special flair. Next on the list is our spiky friends. No, not cacti, but close. The porcupine. It's known for its sharp and prickly needles, which is why it makes so much sense that a group of porcupines would be known as a prickle. Jellyfish are some of the most beautiful creatures to see from afar. Keyword being afar. Unless you're SpongeBob, it's likely you won't want to chase down a group of them, as the pain of their stings is known to be one of the most painful out there, making victims of them feel as though they got smacked. That being said, it's not hard to see why one of the names for a group of jellyfish is called a smack. Speaking of a smack, if you've been enjoying the video so far, please smack the like button. It helps the channel out a lot. Some of these names are an absolute cackle. But no group is laughing harder than a clan of hyenas, as they're also often referred to as a cackle. And considering the noise they make sounds a lot like laughter, this is a well-suited name. If you've ever repeated a word over and over so long it loses its meaning and just starts to sound like nothing more than merely a sound, then you've experienced what's known as semantic satiation. We see this symbol most every day, and each generation calls it something else. Some call it a number sign, most millennials know it as the pound symbol, while some Gen Z call it a hashtag. But did you know the technical name for this symbol is an octothorpe?
What?
If you've ever run around your house frantically cleaning and tidying up before people come over, then you've done what's known as the scurry funge.
Get ready for the 10-second tidy. Ready, set, go!
Did you know when you ask a question loudly or in shock and use both the question mark and the exclamation mark together, it's known as an interrobang?
Who?
Most everyone has had their eyes checked at some point, and we're asked to stand back and read those little letters on the chart as the optometrist points to each one, but many of us never stop to ask what the chart is called. It is known as a Snellen chart. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
Oh my God! Wow!
We use pencils to write and draw, and the eraser gets all the praise for being there to help us when we make a mistake. But let's give the ferrule some credit too, because that's the little metal part on the pencil that holds the eraser in place. A graph sounds much like a chart you use to analyze statistics. But this type of a graph is actually the formal name for that little metal wire structure or cap that holds the cork in a wine bottle. There's tons of songs we sing that in addition to words have just sounds like la 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 and na na na. These are called vocables. They make the song more catchy and singable, but don't really add any meaning to the lyrics of a song. Next on the list is a griffonage. Although it may sound like something straight out of a Harry Potter movie, a griffonage is just the word used to describe messy or illegible handwriting. If you close your eyes and gently press your hands on them, the light you'll see through your eyelids are known as phosphines. When you order a pizza to go, in some places you'll receive a complimentary box tent. No, it's not a tent for your pizza to go camping. It's that tiny plastic thing that looks a lot like a table fit for a dollhouse. It's sometimes called a pizza saver and is designed to go in the middle to support the box, preventing the pizza from getting squished in travel. And they're especially handy if you're stacking more than one box. We see windows everywhere all the time, but many may not know what the strips that separate the panes of glass in a window are called. Those are known as muntins. They were originally designed to provide stability in windows, but now can just be cosmetic. If you've ever read a comic book or watched a cartoon, chances are you've seen a Growlix. A Growlix is the string of symbols like exclamations, ampersands, dollar signs, and more, used to replace profanity to get around language restrictions or censorship in publishing. If you've ever felt like crap after eating or drinking too much, you've experienced the feeling of crapulence. I kid you not, you guys, this is the word used to describe the feeling of sickness caused by excessive eating or drinking. If you're ever lost and looking at a map to figure out where you're going,
Lost without you.
You may want to first check the ideal locator. The ideal locator is the red marker that identifies where you are currently, otherwise known as the "You Are Here" sign. If you've ever pulled up to the gas station only to remember that your gas cap is actually on the opposite side from the way you pulled in, well then welcome to the club. The arrow next to the gas can on your dashboard, though, is a design feature placed there as a perpetual reminder of which side your gas cap is on. During the holiday season, one of the things many of us use a lot of is foil. Whether or not it's covering up food to keep it warm or packing up that delicious to-go plate after the holiday party.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
If you've ever struggled with finding where the foil starts to rip it off, then here's a tip. The perforations on the side of the aluminum foil box is to stop the roll from rolling around, saving you the time of having to take the foil out to find your last stopping point. We use computers all the time, and if you've ever wondered what those tiny lines are on the letters F and J on the keyboard, well, here you go. Those tiny ridges are there as a marker for where to place your index fingers on the keyboard, allowing you to easily access all of the letters and making typing faster. For those of you who aren't typing and prefer to write, have you ever noticed that little hole in the pen cap? The hole in the pen cap is designed for safety, as if in the worst case scenario the cap were to be swallowed, you'd still have a way to breathe until medical aid is rendered. Beyond the safety feature, the hole in the pen caps also help to regulate air pressure, making taking the cap on and off the pen easier. Who knew? The creation of Kleenex tissues as we know them were inspired by the shortage of gas mask filters that occurred during World War I. As a result, a company by the name of Kimberly-Clark created thin disposable tissues designed to place inside of the masks to use as filters. The thin tissues would later expand to become a consumer-based product used to remove makeup and cold creams. People began to find several other uses for them, like blowing your nose, and thus the Kleenex brand was born. The Kleenex brand would ultimately get its name by combining the prefix clean to denote the cleansing nature of the product, while pairing it with the suffix X to denote that it was a part of the Kotex brand's family of products. Speaking of Kleenex, cold and flu season is upon us, and beside needing tissues, one of the best ways to fight a cold is with a cup of hot lemon and honey tea. And if you've ever gone to your pantry to grab some honey and noticed it looks like it's well past its prime, just know that it's not actually expired.
What?
That's right, y'all. Honey apparently doesn't spoil. The date on honey is actually just a best by date rather than an expiration date. It denotes nothing more than a suggested time frame for use to enjoy it at its best possible quality. Although honey may darken, crystallize, lose aroma, or even color over time, consuming it past the date on the packaging is widely known to be safe. This is reportedly due to honey having low water content and a high acidity, which makes it an unfriendly environment for bacteria to thrive. As for the recommended time to keep honey, the USDA considers the ideal storage time to be up to 13 months. But if you decide to use it beyond that time frame, the safety of it should be no concern. So hey, if you have some old honey you're debating on using or tossing, maybe give it a try. When many of us think of unicorns, we think of a mythical creature with one horn flying through rainbows and stuff. But did you know that unicorns are actually the national animal of Scotland? The longest word in the English language is pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanosis.
What the heck?
and this word is used to describe a lung disease caused by inhaling silica dust from volcanic ash. You may have noticed that you rarely ever see purple in hardly any country's flag, and there's good reason for this. Historically, the color purple has been seen as a sign of royalty. This is due to the fact that purple dye was very difficult and expensive to attain back in the day, as the dye was a natural one often made from the mucus of a rare sea snail. Because of this, it wasn't cost-effective to be used as a country's flag, and mass-producing the flags would be quite an expensive feat. So purple was a dye reserved only for the most wealthy. In modern times, though, we do have a broad availability of a variety of synthetic dyes, so this is no longer the case. Even still, though, purple is a color you rarely see in flags, as there's only a handful of countries that incorporate it at all, and even when it is incorporated, it's usually only in a small amount. We tie our shoes most every day without paying much attention to what holds those laces together. The little piece of plastic at the end of the shoelace is called an aglet.
A shoelace! No! That little piece of plastic at the end of the shoelace that nobody knows what it's called. You mean an aglet? Yeah! No!
Next on the list is tines. Not Valentine's, but the prongs that make up a fork. The individual pieces that make up raspberries are called druplets. As Cardi B once said,
"That little dangly thing that's swinging in the back of my throat."
Yes, the little dangly thing that swings in the back of your throat is known as the uvula. As you watch this video, your glabella is aimed towards the screen. What is the glabella, you ask? That small space between your eyebrows. Columella nasi is the space between your nostrils. And, adding on to the list, would be the ampersand, which is the formal name for the ant symbol. Another sign we see frequently is the obelisk, which is the formal name for the division symbol. Many of us love bananas in our smoothies, but have you ever wondered what those little strings are you see when you peel a banana? Well, those are called phloem bundles, and they're there to deliver nutrients to the fruit as it grows. Petrichor. If you've ever gone outside just after it rained after a long period of warm or dry weather and experienced that fresh yet pleasant smell of the land renewed, then you've experienced what is called petrichor. Palindromes. They are those words that are spelled the same forwards and backwards, like taco cat, mom, wow, and dad. You may grab a cup of coffee on the go most every morning, and you never knew the name of this small yet simple item that's on your cup. The zarf. The zarf is that cardboard sleeve on the coffee cup that keeps you from burning your hand when you hold it. Apthongs. They are not a type of underwear, but are in fact what we refer to as silent letters. Some examples would be the silent K that is found in words like knife, night, and knowledge. Collywobbles. Although this may sound like a cousin to the vegetable cauliflower, the collywobbles is a word used to refer to the butterflies or uneasiness you feel in your stomach. A batholith. A batholith is a very large igneous rock extending deep in the Earth's crust. Brannock device. It sounds super scientific, but it's just a little device used to measure your feet at the shoe store, ensuring you get the best fit of your favorite shoe. If you have an opposable thumb, it is certain you have seen a perlicue. The perlicue is the space between your thumb and where the rest of your fingers connect. And while we're on the topic of hands, the lunule isn't too far. It's that lighter crescent-shaped part of the fingernail. We brush our teeth every morning with a nurdle. Although it sounds like the name of a really nerdy turtle, it's just a small dab of toothpaste. Go figure. Last fact on this list, and certainly not least, is a fact about a spice. Not that spice, this one. Saffron. Did you know that saffron is the most expensive spice in the world? Genuine saffron reportedly costs on average $9,000 per pound.
Damn!
as for why it's so expensive, well, it has to do with the fact that it's extremely difficult and labor-intensive to harvest, as each flower must be meticulously hand-picked in order to keep the spice intact, and it takes anywhere from 300 to 500 individual threads, also known as stigmas, just to attain 1 gram of saffron. Crazy, right? This video could go on for infinity, but I think I'll stop here, as last on the list is a lemniscate, which is the technical term for the infinity symbol. Now there's tons more interesting facts out there, but I'm gonna stop here because I really want to hear from you guys. Did you learn something new today? And was there one fact in particular that really had you scratching your head? Let me know. Also, let me know what you'd like me to do a video on next. If you found this video educational or entertaining, it would be
delightful, really delightful.
if you would like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more content.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
As always, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep learning.